5 mobility exercises that solve 95% of your problems. Did you know that just 5 simple exercises can correct most of the mobility problems you feel today? Stiffness when bending down, difficulty getting up from a chair, lower back pain, tight hips, lack of balance, that stiff body, feeling while walking. All of this is often connected to the loss of mobility and stability that gradually happens over the years. And the most interesting part is that, in most cases, the body does not need complicated movements or expensive equipment to regain this function. What it really needs is to move again the way it was designed to. So let's immediately begin with the first exercise, the hip airplane. You have probably never heard of this movement before, but among physical therapists and mobility specialists, it is considered one of the most powerful exercises for restoring hip mobility, stability, and control. If you struggle with stiff hips, frequent lower back pain, or that locked-up feeling every time you try to bend down or rotate your body, this exercise works directly on the root of those problems. And do not worry if it feels difficult at first. You can do everything at home without any equipment. In fact, if you spend many hours sitting during the day, whether working, driving, or even resting, learning how to do this movement correctly can completely change the way your body feels. Because here is something few people realize. The human body was not designed to stay still for so many hours. Over time, the hips begin losing mobility, the stabilizing muscles weaken, and the lower back starts compensating for movements that should be performed by the hips. That is exactly where many pains and limitations begin. Now let's understand how to perform the exercise correctly. Start by standing on one leg. The knee of the supporting leg should remain slightly bent, never locked. Then lean your torso forward while extending the other leg backward, forming something similar to the letter T with your body. Up to this point, the movement already requires balance, but the most important part starts now. While maintaining this tilted position, slowly rotate your hips open toward the ceiling. Then rotate them back down toward the floor. The movement should be performed slowly and with control. The supporting leg must remain steady while the abdomen stays engaged to stabilize the body throughout the entire movement. At first, try doing between 5 and 8 rotations on each side. Over time, as you gain more stability and control, you can gradually increase to 10 or even 12 repetitions. And believe it or not, if you have never done this exercise before, it is much harder than it looks. Your balance will be challenged. The deep hip muscles will begin working in a way they probably have not in years. That is why there is absolutely no problem starting by holding onto a wall, chair, or any stable support until you develop more stability. And here is what makes the hip airplane so powerful. It moves the hip through its full range of motion while challenging balance, coordination, and stability at the same time. Most people move their hips only forward and backward throughout the day, while walking, sitting, or climbing stairs. But the hip joint was designed to rotate in multiple directions. When you stop using these rotational movements for years, the joint begins to become stiff. And then the body does something automatic. It transfers the effort to the lower back. That is exactly why so many people with tight hips also deal with chronic lower back pain. The body tries to find movement wherever mobility is still available. If the hips do not move, the lower back ends up becoming overloaded. And the problem is that the lower back was not designed to constantly compensate for this lack of mobility. By doing the hip airplane regularly, you are basically teaching the hips how to move correctly again. You begin to lubricate the joint, strengthen the small stabilizing muscles around it, and restore natural movement patterns that the body lost over the years. And the benefits usually appear quickly. After a few weeks of practicing this exercise, many people begin noticing simple but extremely important changes in their daily lives. Bending down to pick something up from the floor becomes easier. Walking feels lighter and more natural. That constant discomfort in the lower back starts to decrease. The body begins to feel less stiff right after waking up. And this happens because proper movement is being restored at the root of the problem. Now that we have started freeing the hips through rotational movements, it is time to move on to a position that improves mobility in almost the entire lower body at the same time. The next exercise is the deep squat hold with arm reach. This movement takes the traditional deep squat, a natural human body position that many people have completely lost, and adds an upper body mobility component, helping open the thoracic spine, shoulders, and chest at the same time. And this is extremely important because mobility does not work in isolation. When one region of the body loses movement, other areas end up compensating. That is why restoring mobility in an integrated way usually brings much faster and longer-lasting results. Now, this exercise is excellent for improving hip mobility, ankle flexibility, and upper back rotation at the same time. And here is something interesting. These are exactly some of the most neglected areas when people create a stretching or mobility routine. Many people stretch their legs or lower back, but completely forget that stiff ankles, tight hips, and an immobile thoracic spine change the way the entire body moves. By working the hips, ankles, and thoracic spine simultaneously, this exercise helps restore natural movement patterns that the body lost after years of sitting in chairs, looking at screens, and maintaining a forward-leaning posture. And if lowering yourself toward the floor already feels difficult, or if you feel stiffness every time you try to squat, the deep squat hold with arm reach needs to become part of your routine. Because it does not just improve mobility, it helps the body move again in a younger and more natural way. So let's understand exactly how to do it. Start by standing with your feet approximately shoulder-width apart. Your toes should point slightly outward. Now slowly lower into a deep squat, trying to keep your heels fully on the floor and your chest as upright as possible. And here is something important. You do not need to go all the way down right at the beginning. If your body still feels stiff, only go as low as you can while maintaining good posture. With consistency, your depth will naturally improve. When you are in the lowest squat position, place one hand on the floor to help with balance. Now take your other arm and slowly raise it toward the ceiling while rotating your upper back. Follow your hand with your eyes during the movement. This helps increase thoracic spine mobility even more. Hold this rotation for one deep breath. Then slowly return your arm and repeat the same movement on the other side. Try to perform about 5 rotations on each side while staying in the squat position. And if balance is still difficult, there is absolutely no problem using something sturdy for support, such as a counter, a doorway, or a chair. The most important thing is maintaining control and stability. Now there is an extremely important detail in this exercise. Keep your heels on the floor the entire time. Avoid rising onto your toes during the squat, because this increases pressure on the knees and greatly reduces the effectiveness of the movement. And you will notice something interesting. After just a few minutes of practicing this exercise, the hips begin to feel looser, the ankles lighter, and the upper back less stiff. The body literally starts opening up again. But if the deep squat still feels impossible at first, there is a very useful modification. You can elevate your heels by placing a folded towel or a small wedge under your feet. This reduces the ankle mobility requirement and makes the movement much easier while your body gradually gains flexibility. And believe it or not, many people notice improvement within the first few weeks. Getting up from a chair becomes easier. The body feels less stiff upon waking up. Even simple movements like picking something up from the floor stop feeling uncomfortable. The couch stretch. This exercise may seem simple at first, but it is incredibly powerful. Many people look at it and think it is just a common lunge stretch. But in reality, it provides one of the deepest and most effective stretches possible for the hip flexors and quadriceps. And here is why this is so important. The hip flexor muscles are exactly the muscles that stay shortened all day when you sit. Over time, they begin constantly pulling the pelvis forward. And this creates that excessive curve in the lower back that causes pain, stiffness, and a feeling of pressure in the back. That is why so many people feel lower back discomfort even without having a serious injury. The problem often starts in the hips, and the couch stretch helps exactly with that. It not only stretches the shortened area, but also helps return the pelvis to a more natural position, reducing pressure on the lower back and improving posture while walking and standing. This is one of the most effective movements for improving rotational mobility in the middle region of the back, an area that almost nobody pays attention to. And here's the problem. The thoracic spine, which sits between the neck and the lower back, was designed to rotate and move freely. The human body was not made to spend hours sitting hunched over looking at phones, computers, and screens. But that is exactly what happens today. Over the years, this region becomes stiff, tight, and lacking mobility. And when the thoracic spine loses its ability to rotate, the body finds another solution. It starts compensating by using the lower back and the neck. That is exactly why so many people experience neck pain and pressure in the lower back without realizing that the true source of the problem is in the middle of the back. This exercise helps restore lost rotation while also opening the chest and improving shoulder mobility. It is especially useful for people who feel tension between the shoulder blades, rounded shoulders, or constant stiffness in the neck. And think about something simple from everyday life. If you have ever tried looking behind you while driving and felt like you had to turn your entire body as well, that is a major sign of thoracic spine limitation. This movement helps restore that natural rotation, and the benefits go beyond everyday activities. Sports like golf, tennis, and pickleball rely heavily on efficient thoracic spine rotation. When this mobility improves, movements become smoother, lighter, and even more powerful. Now, even though it looks simple from the outside, proper execution makes all the difference. So pay very close attention. Start by lying on your side on the floor. Bend your knees to approximately 90 degrees and keep one leg stacked on top of the other. Now extend both arms forward with your palms touching. From this position, slowly lift the top arm and begin opening it toward the opposite side of the body, drawing an arc through the air. As your arm moves, follow your hand with your eyes. This helps the brain increase rotational mobility even more. The goal is to try to bring your arm and shoulder blade toward the floor behind your body. But there is one very important rule here. Your knees must stay together the entire time. Do not allow your legs to separate during the movement. The idea is to make the rotation happen in the thoracic spine, not in the hips. When you reach the open position, stay there for 1 or 2 deep breaths. Feel your chest opening and the middle of your back rotating. Then slowly return to the starting position. Perform between 8 and 10 repetitions on each side, gradually increasing as your mobility improves. And if your knees keep separating, there is a simple solution. You can place a pillow, cushion, or block between your legs to maintain a more stable base. Now, there is a very common mistake that greatly reduces the benefits of this exercise. Many people perform the movement too quickly, but mobility does not improve through speed. It improves through control. Slow and mindful movements allow the joints to truly gain range of motion and help the nervous system accept that new movement pattern. And here is the most important point of all. The movement should happen in the thoracic spine, not in the lower back. If you feel this exercise mainly in your lower back, you are probably allowing your hips to open too much. Keep your knees together and focus the rotation on the middle region of the back. Now, when people try to improve mobility, they often forget something fundamental. The hips need to move in multiple directions, not just forward and backward. And that is exactly why I saved the exercise called 90-90 hip switches for the end. This is one of the most effective exercises for restoring both internal and external hip rotation, 2 movements that are among the most limited in the modern human body. And here is why this matters so much. The lack of hip rotation caused by years of sitting in chairs creates compensations throughout the entire body. The body starts losing fluidity when sitting on the floor, standing up, rotating the torso, changing direction, and even walking naturally. The 90-90 exercise helps restore this lost rotation and makes floor movement feel natural again. In addition, it improves hip flexibility, reduces lower back tension, and increases your ability to move freely. And this becomes increasingly important with aging, because mobility is not just about stretching. Mobility is independence. It is being able to move without fear, being able to get up from the floor on your own, being able to play with your grandchildren, walk, travel, and perform simple tasks without feeling like your body is stuck. If you have difficulty sitting cross-legged, struggle to get up from the floor, or notice deep stiffness in your hips, this exercise needs to become part of your routine. Now follow carefully how to do it. You will start seated on the floor with one leg positioned in front of your body and the other behind, both bent at approximately 90-degree angles. The shin of the front leg should remain approximately parallel to your body, while the shin of the back leg should stay more perpendicular. This is the famous 90-90 position. And here is something interesting. For many people, simply sitting in this position already feels like a major stretch. This shows how stiff the hips can become without a person even realizing it. Now try to keep your spine upright and your chest open. Avoid allowing your body to round forward. And pay attention to this important detail. If you cannot keep your spine straight in this position, that is a clear sign that your hips are very tight. In that case, do not force your body. You can sit on a yoga block, cushion, or folded towel to slightly elevate your hips. This small adjustment reduces tension and allows the movement to happen much more comfortably and safely. After getting into the position, stay there for a few deep breaths. While breathing, try to notice the stretch happening in both hips at the same time. And now comes the main part of the exercise, switching sides. Lift your knees slightly off the floor and begin rotating your legs slowly to the opposite side until you reach a mirrored 90 to 90 position, now with the other leg in front. As your legs rotate, try to keep your torso facing forward. Then reverse the movement and return to the starting position. That counts as one repetition. And here is an extremely important detail that completely changes the effectiveness of this exercise. Avoid using your hands to push your body from one side to the other. The goal is for the hip muscles themselves to control the rotation. Because this exercise does not work only on flexibility, it also develops strength and muscular control within the new range of motion. That is exactly what makes mobility truly work in everyday life. Slow and controlled movements are essential here. The slower you perform the movement, the more the brain learns to control the hips correctly. And as you gain more mobility, you can increase the challenge in a few ways. One option is to remain for a few seconds breathing deeply in each position before switching sides. Another option is to lean your torso forward over the front leg, increasing the stretch in the hips even more. And there is an even more advanced level. As your body gains control and stability, try performing the transitions without letting your hands touch the floor. At that point, the stabilizing muscles of the abdomen and hips begin working intensely. And here is something very important about this exercise. Many people notice that one side of the body feels much tighter than the other. That is completely normal. Years of repetitive posture, always sitting the same way, and even placing more weight on one leg than the other create deep imbalances in the hips. And the 90-90 exercise helps correct exactly those differences. Now that you have learned all the movements, it is time to understand how to combine these exercises into a quick, efficient, and extremely powerful daily routine. And the best part is that this routine takes only about 15 to 20 minutes. First, you will begin with the hip airplanes. Perform 2 sets of 8 repetitions on each side. At first, use a wall or chair for support until you gain more balance and stability. Then, as you improve, try doing them without support. Next, move on to the deep squat with arm reach. Perform 2 sets of 5 rotations on each side while maintaining the squat position. After that, move on to the couch stretch. Stay for 30 to 60 seconds on each side and complete 2 full rounds. Right after that, perform the thoracic spine open books. Complete 2 sets of 10 repetitions on each side, focusing on slow and controlled movements. And finally, finish with the 90-90 hip switches. Perform 2 sets of 8 complete transitions. And there is something very important you need to understand about this routine. This is not a workout designed to make you rush, sweat, or finish exhausted. The goal here is not intensity. The goal is quality of movement. Breathe deeply during each exercise. Do everything without rushing. The more control you have, the greater the results will be. Because this routine was created to target exactly the 3 regions responsible for most of the pain and stiffness people feel today: the hips, lower back, and upper back. When these areas start moving correctly again, the entire body changes. And the results usually appear quickly. After a few weeks of consistent practice, you begin to feel lighter, looser, and much less stiff. Simple movements become easier. Walking feels more natural. Getting up from a chair requires less effort. The body begins regaining freedom of movement again. And here is the most important key of all: consistency. These exercises truly work, but only if they are done regularly. The human body responds to what you practice repeatedly. If you dedicate just a few minutes a day to restoring your mobility, your body will begin changing in a way you may not have felt in many years. More freedom, less pain, more confidence in movement. And as we age, that is worth far more than any intense workout or quick result.